Like, do we have a chat to see the YouTube chat?
It's live. You
Okay.
have to. I think you have to go to the actual. Here, I'll send you a link.
No, I got it for the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just do that. I can do that.
Welcome to another episode of JXFM.
What's up, guys?
Today's episode is Cartoon List.
That's right, guys.
Top
I'm
10.
Zane. We're joined here by my also co-hosts. We got Jesus and Fromaster.
Fromaster.
So yeah, today we're gonna talk about our top favorite cartoons that we either liked growing up or that we like to still watch.
Also, this is a combined of cartoons and anime as well.
That is true.
This is true. So, who wants to start it off?
Anybody got any honorable mentions?
I really don't have any honorables. It was kind of hard to dig up this list myself. So
I got an honorable mention.
yeah, a lot of the stuff is kind of old school. I haven't really seen any animated series lately. So, but I got a pretty good list.
Cool. What you got, Preem?
I got my honorable mention as Popeye the Sailor Man.
Oh,
I love Popeye the Sailor Man, man. It was a good one. Didn't make it on my top 10, but it definitely, I had to mention it. It was up there. It was well deserving of a placement. Honorable mention.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that dude eating the spinach and all that.
Yeah, that man was always getting buff.
Yeah. It's crazy how he just ate the spinach and he
bang.
got muscles all of a sudden and he just saved the day. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. So I have an honorable mention too. It's gonna be, this might even be on one of y'all's lists, I'm sure, but Scooby-Doo.
Ooh, Scooby-Doo.
So I mean, Scooby-Doo's OG, you know what I mean? Like from back in the day. Casey Kasem. So
Oh shoot, dang. Nice.
but that's definitely what it didn't make my top 10, but it definitely should have. But y'all will see why it didn't make my top 10, and it kind of makes sense.
Okay, let's get it started.
So who's going first?
Oh,
Fro, what you got?
let me go ahead and go first. My top 10, number 10, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Oh
Let's go.
man.
Man, when I was growing up, this cartoon was in its own category because you got two kids, one of them dumb, one of them really smart, and they are accompanied by their lifelong friend now, the Grim Reaper.
That's right.
Oh man! It turns out the Grim Reaper loses a bet between them, and he's got to be their lifelong friends.
Yeah, dude.
It is a great TV show.
This is actually my number 2. So
What?
yeah, dude. Billy and Mandy. It's just so it's so grim, really. Like it's just dark. Actually, a lot of the cartoons that are on my list are pretty dark, or they have a real dark sense of humor to them. So I thought it was kind of cool that somebody else had that on their list too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, it wasn't always grim. It was a lot of comedy too, and it was just, it had a really, really lot of funny moments in it. You know.
Nice. I see here it was by Cartoon Network.
Yeah. Cartoon Network originally aired it 2001. I don't know how many seasons they have. It doesn't really say, but I from 2001 to 2007. So
wow, not bad.
I liked it. 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb. So
sweet.
Yeah, it was really good. There was 6 seasons actually.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So. All right, Jesus, what you got for your number 10?
Number 10. Let me see. I don't know. Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner.
Ooh,
oh man.
Okay, all right.
Wile E. Coyote. You could never catch the Roadrunner. He's always trying to catch him. He doesn't get him.
Never get them.
My favorite part is whenever they incorporate that weight that they have. I don't know what you call it.
The anvil.
They usually incorporate it in several of their shows. You know, that's kind of what I remember.
Yeah,
being at the edge of a cliff, you know, they would always have that.
Yeah.
And then you see all the way down, how far it's gonna fall.
Yeah, man. Old school, dude. Like Looney Tunes is basically where it came from, so it's part of the Looney Tunes universe.
Definitely.
I know it did have its own show, but I am pretty sure that's where it came from. So
yeah,
But yeah, man. I mean, even for cartoons like back in the day, you know what I mean? No talking. They just fun, having fun, hurting each other.
Yeah, and like the music really carried it a lot. That's what I liked about it too.
Yeah.
I mean, without the music, it'd just kind of be like dull, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, he always tried to catch him. Eventually, he caught him, I think, one time, and then he got hit by a rocket or something.
So I like how, yeah, that's what I like about it, man. He's always on the hunt for that. You know, I mean, there would be no Roadrunner without Coyote. There would be no Coyote without the Roadrunner.
It's crazy too, like, because they're kind of the same size in the cartoon, but like in real life, they're not the same size.
Yeah, dude. Roadrunners are like real small birds.
Yeah, yeah.
So you think about how iconic that bird is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's cool. 8.4 for I mean, I guess the Bugs Bunny Looney Tunes Comedy Hour. That's all I could find. 1985 to 1986, but I'm sure there's variations in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot.
So yours was the Bugs Bunny, you said? Is that what you said?
The what?
Yeah, yours. Was that yours or?
No.
Okay.
No.
Got lost there.
All right, on to my number 10. I got Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
This show is similar to Billy and Mandy. About a dog that lives with his owners, and they're like an old couple, like a grandma and a grandpa, and they live alone on like this deserted farm.
Mm-hmm.
And all kinds of weird stuff happens that the grandma and grandpa never really see, but the dog sees it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, you know, paranormal. It's real dark. It's real grim. Again, stuff I like to watch, and I used to watch this stuff when I was a kid, man, and it was fun for me to see this dog be, you know, terrified while the grandma and the grandpa are just sitting there telling them to shut up.
Plus, he always saves the day too at the end.
Yeah,
always. The things he does for love. Yeah.
What I find interesting is that like the dog is not a normal color, right? He's like pink or purple.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. Dude. Courage. I mean, I used to, like I said, I used to watch the show all the time when I was a kid. So it just brought back memories thinking about like what cartoons I used to watch, and this was definitely one of them that I used to watch a lot.
Yeah, definitely. It was good. You know, the whole Eustace and Muriel and him pulling out the mask to scare the dog when he got on his nerves.
Yeah,
and her being the opposite, loving, gentle, caring. You know, I still watch that to this day. One of my favorite episodes is the Foot Monster. So,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So they have monsters, aliens, demons, and scientists, zombies. Yeah. Man, it sounds like a pretty cool flick.
Yeah, it's the most random stuff you can think of.
Cool.
They had 4 seasons, and I think Cartoon Network pulled the plug on that one. I think they said it was too dark.
Oh wow!
So
would y'all consider Cartoon Network like adult animated shows, or for like kids, for teenagers? What do y'all think?
Not anymore. I mean, there was a difference between when these shows were coming out, like Billy and Mandy. They actually started to spread off, which is now, as we know, Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And, I remember, like, I was watching all these TV shows one day. I was staying up late at night. I was probably like, I don't know, 10, 9 maybe. And I was watching The Usuals. It was 11, 12 o'clock in the morning. You know, I didn't have school. This is a weekend. And all of a sudden, Cartoon Network stops. And it's this new TV show called Adult Swim.
Yeah.
I'm like, where the hell? This was back in 1999, 2000. You know, I was like, I don't want to watch this. What is this crap? And I remember watching the first episode of Lupin the Third. And I was like, this is trash. I want my Cartoon Network back.
Whoa! So I mean, is Adult Swim still around?
Oh yeah, Adult Swim.
Yeah, Adult Swim's still a thing. A lot of shows have come from Adult Swim. There's still a lot of popular shows that even people still watch to this day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Cool. So you guys want me to do number 9?
Yeah. Go ahead. Hit over number 9.
Man, I got to do another Looney Tunes, man. Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Tom and Jerry.
Dang.
I guess that's another thing where he tries to catch him and he doesn't catch him or whatever, but he's always like Jerry. Which was I always get confused. Jerry's the mouse, right?
Yeah, Tom's the cat.
Tom's the cat. See, I used to always get that confused when I was younger. I was like, yeah, no, Tom's the mouse. Jerry's the cat. I guess because the name is shorter and the mouse is smaller. You know what I mean? Just
yeah.
That's everything.
But it's actually kind of crazy because Tom and Jerry they're not part of the Looney Tunes.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They're actually not even made by. Well, they are made by WB, but they're not part of the Looney Tunes at all.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Which is really weird because Tom and Jerry has been out since like 1940, 46 or some stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're just progressed like Popeye. His enemy started out as Brutus, and then it was it was Pluto. Now it's Pluto.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So those are some old. Tom and Jerry is one of the oldest cartoons out there too, as well.
So it's a slapstick comedy.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff came from like the originals, which were like the Three Stooges. You know what I mean? And a lot of that stuff, and that's where it all stemmed from. And they said, we can't hurt real people in real life, but if we make cartoons where we can hurt the cartoons, it'll still get the laugh that you're looking for, but nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Right on, man. And when you're saying that, it reminds me that they rely heavily on sound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Heavily on sound. Walt Disney's Silly Symphonies is the most awards in the category after MGM Cartoon Studio closed in 1957. MGM revived the series by Gene Dyke, directing an additional 13 Tom and Jerry shorts for Rambart Films from 1961 to 1962.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
There are a ton of episodes too. It says right here there's at least 164 short episodes.
Yeah,
they're a lot. Plus they got movies too. Like one of the
a lot of the movies are actually really good too. I remember when I was a kid, one of the movies that actually came out, they were actually talking in the movie.
Yeah, they were talking in the movie. Yeah.
So that was like a first for me, and even for them in the movie, they were like, "You can talk."
Yeah.
Yeah, right on.
So Tom and Jerry, man, old school, like really good choice.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, that's actually on my list too, but we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see which one that one is.
Ah, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
I'll go with my number 9. My number 9, if we're moving on here, there's no rating for Tom and Jerry, by the way, on IMDb, but it says they started in 1946 and they had like over 160 shows.
Yeah.
So
nice.
My number 9, we got the 90s X-Men.
Ooh, X-Men.
The old school,
the one where.
Yeah, dude.
I gotta agree. Gambit's voice actor is the shit.
Yeah, dude, for sure, man.
Yeah.
I remember I had all these tapes when I was a kid. I didn't even watch them on TV. I had every single tape that like that they had for all the seasons, and I used to
VHS tape, right?
Yeah, VHS, man. And I would start from the first one, and I think there was like 10 or 11 tapes, and I would just put them all in one by one, and just watch them all.
Sweet.
Yeah, man, this was like one of my favorite. This is when I fell in love with like comics and X-Men, and this is when I found out what like, the real superheroes are supposed to be.
Right. So, so what's the main aspect that you liked about that series?
Mostly the characters, really. In like when you're reading a comic, like they don't really jump out at you like kind of talking back to you, really. So you kind of have like your own definition of how they would sound or how they would look or how they would move or act. But in the when I used to watch the series, I used to say, man, that's really cool. I never thought he would talk like that, or I never thought he would move like that. So it really like clicked with me, like to start thinking now, like whenever I think of Gambit, I always think of him like with that voice. Like I can't do it, but like that voice where he's just got that real thick Louisiana accent.
Yeah.
Louisiana French accent.
And it's smooth too. Like it's
and it's just a smooth, like real nice, like voice. And then Logan, he's like, what do you want, bub? So it just brings back a lot of memories when I think about X-Men. So that's my number 9.
Nice.
Yeah. Wow, that's really good too. Any ratings on the series, the 1990s?
Man, if I remember this correctly, it had like really bad ratings.
What, really?
That's a shame too.
Yeah, because that's one of the reasons why they stopped making it.
Wow.
Let's see if I can find.
I like how they kept the colors like like in the comic. The original.
Yeah, that's another thing I like too. But I mean, it was like almost just like a live action comic, and that's exactly what I wanted.
Right.
So
awesome.
it has a 8.5 out of 10 on IMDb, but 95% on the Google
Google reviews,
Google rating, Google users. So it says they had 5. I think they have 5 seasons. So
wow,
got canceled.
Yeah, 5 seasons, and they have like different characters in here: Cyclops, Wolverine, Rogue, Storm, Beast, Gambit, Jubilee, Jean Grey, Professor X. Nice.
Yeah, you think of some of these characters that were actually starting, like Gambit. Nobody knew who Gambit was when the cartoon came out. He wasn't even like a main character. And then he didn't become like really well known until this series came out and everybody fell in love with him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, it was really good.
For sure. All right, Preem.
My number 9 is Scooby Doo.
Yeah, man.
Scooby Doo. The concept is pretty simple. Stop the bad guys. Unmask the scary monsters.
Now would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you pesky kids.
Yeah. Kids and that damn dog. Yeah.
Damn dog.
I love that. It's so good though, man. Like every I always try to solve the mystery in the beginning. I was like, oh, it's this guy. No, it's this guy. And then at the end, I'm like, damn, it was that guy.
Yeah, man, Scooby-Doo. There's a bunch of renditions, but one of my favorite is I think it's called Scooby-Doo and 13 Ghosts, or I think it's called that. And there's they're doing like a show within a show. It's kind of weird.
Oh, you're talking about Scooby-Doo and the zombie on the zombie island.
No. It's an actual series.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But yeah. I mean, all the Scooby-Doos were really good though.
Scooby-Doo. By 2004, the various Scooby-Doo merchandise had generated over $1 billion in profit from Warner Brothers. Licensed merchandise also sold $496 million in 2015, $501 million in 2016, and $353 million in 2017.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, what would Scooby-Doo be without Shaggy, man?
For sure, right? Like
really, like his trusted. There's a lot of Scooby-Doos. There's the Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And I think that was when Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? was the one where they actually featured other cartoon characters in Scooby-Doo. Like, for instance, you had a Scooby-Doo episode with the Three Stooges, or you had a Scooby-Doo episode with Johnny Bravo. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
you always try to hit on Velma, which was very funny.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the series that I'm talking about is the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, and it was still a series. It was
okay, yeah.
But it was it was a lot more darker. The ghosts were a lot more scarier, and then they had what's his name? Vincent Price was like the host of the whole thing. So I don't know. He just always creeped me out. And then, of course, I like Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange was based off of Vincent Price's character, the way he looks.
Yeah.
So, but it all kind of ties together for me with just that one series. But I like all the movies, all the movies that came out, all the TV shows. Scooby-Doo, man, it's like tried and true.
The newest one too was Mystery Incorporated Scooby-Doo. That one's above the line. I mean, you got to be like kind of older to understand it, but it's still a great TV show, even if you wanted to watch it with the kids.
Yeah, for sure.
So each series had its own title.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of different series about Scooby-Doo. It wasn't just one Scooby-Doo. They had like Scooby-Doo and the 13 Ghosts, and then they had like a pup named Scooby-Doo, and then they had a whole bunch of other ones as well.
What's New Scooby-Doo?
What's New Scooby-Doo? Yeah. So they it's just a continuation. So like one series would end, and then they would start another one.
So would the new series begin where the old one began? I mean, where the old one ended, or
no, because in Scooby-Doo, the series never really collectively meshed together anyways. They were just a series of events.
Yeah.
It wasn't like actually that they moved from one episode to the next like a normal show.
Yeah.
Right on. So they weren't like, you know, like paid detectives or anything. They were just kind of just like
Just
what,
high
teenagers
school
or I mean,
just
Yeah.
nice.
They were problem solvers, crime solvers, mystery solvers.
yeah.
Nice.
So no ratings on that one because there's just so many different Scooby-Doos to go off of. I think the consensus on one of them was like an 8.5 out of like 10. But I mean, just really good. I mean, everybody loves Scooby-Doo, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
All right, Just, what you got for your number 9?
Beavis and Butthead.
Oh,
Nice.
wait. No, I don't got that on my list. I was gonna say I think I got that on my list. Okay, go ahead.
Beavis and Butthead. Like these dudes freaking dumbed it down.
Yeah.
And he was funny.
Yeah.
And they had music videos in there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, fire, you know.
Yeah.
He puts the shirt over his head. He's like, Con Julio.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, just dumb stuff like that was just funny, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't really watch Beavis and Butthead, but when the movie came out, man, I loved the movie. So I had to go back and rewatch all the episodes. And I remember he's like, they were listening to One by Metallica, and he was like,
yeah.
So I just think of them, man. And then of course it's heavy metal, like, you know what I mean? That's what I listen to. And then Beavis and Butthead just cracking fun, you know. So
cracking fun. They used to work at that. It was like a fast food place.
Yeah.
Beavis and Butthead would be there.
Hey, baby.
Yeah. Plus
he's like, I wear braces too. Or what does he say?
Yeah.
I see you wear braces. I wear braces too.
Well, there was 8 seasons. Started 1992, and then ended 1997, and then they picked it back up in 2011.
Plus, I felt like a lot of episodes always had that moment where they're just chilling on the couch and they're watching like MTV or something, just rocking out to yeah. So and they actually comment on that too. They're like, "Oh man, you know."
Yeah,
off.
They're kind of like their own critics for like
yeah.
And then I don't know if because one of them wears a Metallica shirt, right, and the other one wears like AC/DC or something.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting. But I guess so. You mentioned that time they were listening to one, but I don't know if they've ever listened to AC/DC in one of them.
I don't remember.
You know what I mean? Just kind of corresponding to where they actually like that music, even though they were wearing the shirt. You know what I mean?
I've seen a couple of, I mean, from what I remember off the top of my head, like 9 Inch Nails, Marilyn Manson, Metallica, Smashing Pumpkins.
Or that one, It's So Cold in the Deep.
Yeah, that was one of the newer ones.
Yeah, that was a new one. I was like, dude, where did they find this video?
Yeah,
you know, like who here? Nobody ever heard of that person, but they played it on there, and like they're just popular now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's so cold in the deep.
Yeah. So cold. Yeah. So Beavis and Butthead was my number 8.
Nice, man.
Wait,
Does that have any ratings, by the way?
Yeah, it's a 7.5 out of 10. It's real raunchy, so I don't expect it to get a lot of higher ratings. I honestly didn't even expect it to be that high.
Right on. So. Frog Baseball was a huge one. Yeah,
they got a bunch of them though, man. But I remember the movie, when the movie came out, it just like broke everybody.
So it's created by Mike Judd. Mike Judd does some other ones too. They're probably going to be on the list. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's Mike Judd.
All right.
Who's next?
8. We're doing
number 8.
Number 8.
So start with Fro.
My number 8. Wait, we're doing. No, that was his number 8 already. So now it's my number 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
My number 8 is Ed, Edd, and Eddy.
Oh man.
Ed, Edd, and Eddy.
I love this show, dude.
There was, I don't know how to say. There was a dumb one, a scam artist who was dumb, and then a really smart one that just didn't want to be a part of him, but he hung out with them anyways. Yeah. Every episode was about jawbreakers.
Yeah.
And they never got any.
Jawbreakers.
They never got any.
I think like one of the last episodes they got some or something.
No, No, it was the movie. They made a movie to close out all the seasons.
Okay.
And they finally got recognition from all the friends, and everything was happy.
Yeah, this show was like just an after school, like just show about kids and what they did after school when their parents weren't really home yet from work, and they just everybody hung out in the neighborhood basically.
Yeah. Well, it was pretty cool. I think I think it was season 6. I'm not too sure, but the episodes were actually in school, which was cool.
Some of them were. Yeah,
and I was like, oh, this is getting really interesting. Then they stopped. Then the movie came out, which introduced Eddie's big brother, the neighborhood bully.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was just like scared of him until the three, Ed and Eddie, shut him down, and then they got all the respect from the kids, and then it was all good. Because they were kind of like the neighborhood clowns, you know. Didn't really want to trust them. Eddie was always trying to scam everybody for a quarter.
Yeah,
you know,
to go get a jawbreaker.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I don't remember a lot of this show, but I remember watching it and just being like, man, these guys are so goofy. What do you think about that, Ed boy?
Yeah, Ralph. Oh my God, that's so good.
And then there was a pair of sisters too.
Oh, there was no, there was 3. There was a triplets.
Yeah, well, so they liked all 3 Ed and Eddie's.
Yeah, they all liked the Eds. Yeah,
but they didn't want to have anything to do with them.
Yeah, because they were girls.
Because they were girls. Yeah,
they're called the Kanker sisters.
That's funny. Yeah. So they called one of the Eds Double D.
Yeah, Double D.
Yeah, so because it's Ed and Ed, right? Ed. So they would say Double D to distinguish who was who.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't just say, "Hey, Ed," because one of them, the last one was Eddie.
Yeah. So I guess Eddie was the smart one that kind of didn't want to be a part of it.
Double D was the smart one.
Double D was the smart one.
Yeah, Double D. Eddie was the one that tried to scam everybody.
Yeah.
Ed was the one that was just dumb, and he was like,
just dumb. Yeah. I want a chicken, Eddie.
Yeah, he had a sister that was really mean, but if anybody ever hurt his sister, he'd go crazy. He was kind of like, really, really strong, but just kind of dumb.
Yeah, he was the biggest one out of all of them, but he was just the dumbest one. Yeah. It's a great show, man. It's really super funny.
Right. Nice.
That was a good pick, Preem.
Yeah, 7.4 on IMDb out of 10.
Yeah, 7.4.
They had how many episodes seasons? They had 6 seasons. Yeah, and
what says they have 5 seasons, and then they had a season 6 opener, and that's it. So, but the show ran for 10 years. It's from 1999 to 2009.
Yeah, the special Ed and Eddie film. It's called. What was it called? Ed and Eddie's Big Picture Show. That's what it was called. Yeah.
Man.
That movie was really good too. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it was just that show was good. I remember it. I just remember them being goofy all the time. So. So we're on our number 7s?
Or what was your number 8?
Yeah, did I not do mine? Okay, my number 8. You've gone already, right?
Yes.
All right, my number 8 is old school. It started a whole new. It started its own thing, and it just turned into something big. It's my number 8, South Park.
South Park. Yeah,
you're gonna have that one on there.
Yeah.
Dude, South Park. I've been watching South Park when I was a little kid. I wasn't even supposed to be watching South Park. Dude, I would go to my cousin's house, and he had season 1 on DVD.
Yep.
And I used to watch that sucker all day. I used to be like, man, they're cussing in here, and they're doing stuff they're not supposed to. I like it.
So which one is the one that they always do? Isn't one of them like die all the time or something like that?
Yeah, Kenny.
Just the dude, the orange like suit.
Yeah,
you only saw his eyes, right? You never saw his mouth.
See his eyes. Well, eventually you see his head.
Yeah, and his whole body.
His whole body, but yeah, for the most part, you only see his eyes, and then he can't talk because of the way his hood is.
Jacket, his jacket.
Yeah. But somehow everybody understands him. There's a really cool episode too where they're all superheroes. And you get to actually see his face, but you get to see like this part of his face, but his eyes are covered with a mask now.
What?
Yeah, it's really cool, man.
Is this true? Primus is the theme music composer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shoot.
It's awesome. Dude.
It's crazy they're still doing episodes to this day.
Yeah, South Park is like one of the longest running episodes, like next to like The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like they've just been constantly coming out with greater and greater episodes. They came out with like I think 1 or 2 movies already too.
Yeah.
They're on like season like 20 or 21.
22.
Maybe even long. Let me see.
22.
It seemed pretty controversial. I mean, do you think they've ever maybe almost gotten in trouble?
Oh, they've gotten in trouble a bunch of times.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
they've gotten in trouble a lot.
Didn't matter though because their fan base was so great. Like,
that
recently just came out the South Park game. Man, awesome,
dude. They're international, broadcast in India, New Zealand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like America. I said, they're one of the first to do the comedy that they did, and it just blew up so huge that nobody will let it go.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So good, you know what I mean?
Plus, I remember when the first movie came out. Oh man, it was like a war. Like, you can't watch that. That's just terrible. Blah blah blah. You know.
Yeah.
It got a lot of backlash when it came out.
Definitely.
But I mean, they go after anybody, man. They'll go after the president. They'll go after any celebrity. They'll go after whoever.
Yeah.
And they just write jokes. They'll go after religion. You know what I mean? They just write jokes about it. And hey, man, it's funny. It's satire, but I mean, you got to learn to enjoy that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right on.
So
plus it blew, the way it blew up now is just crazy. I mean, there's more merchandise than there is, and I mean, Jesus,
yeah,
it was just
right on.
Crazy.
So South Park got 8.8 out of 10 on IMDb. So
yeah.
Apparently, a lot of people still like it, and they keep making shows. So
yeah, it's great. I mean,
that's cool. That just goes to show that they stay ahead of the curve and they know what to look for next.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a good thing.
All right, so who's got number 7s?
I'll take number 7 if y'all don't mind.
Go for it.
My number 7 is a little cartoon special called Samurai Jack. Oh man,
I've never seen this show.
Really?
Samurai Jack.
I know it's good though. I know there's a big cult following around it, but I've never seen it.
Yo, bro, Aku, this dark shapeshifted master of darkness. Oh my God, what are you?
I know.
He unleashed an unspeakable evil. I mean, it's so good, dude. Like, man, I always watch this. I mean, it was great. When the new episodes came out last year again on Toonami, it was awesome.
So how did you find out about Samurai Jack?
Cartoon Network. I think it was I don't remember what I was watching. I don't remember what I was doing, but it caught me. I was playing with my toys and the intro caught me. The intro was awesome. That intro is sick to this day. It's just awesome.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is awesome. It's a ninja with a sword, and he's just ripping through people.
Yeah. This is around the time when Cartoon Network really started making cartoons like Dexter's Lab, Samurai Jack, Ed, Edd n Eddy, like all these cartoons that were like coming out, and everybody was just loving them.
Yeah. What's really good about the Samurai Jack now is the newest one, the newest installment for 2017. It actually kind of strayed away from the cartoon, and it was like more serious note because like all of us fans, we're grown up now when we were watching it. Now it came back, it was serious, and it had a really good season finale ending. That's it. No more Samurai Jack. Like, it was the best. It was, it couldn't have gone any better. Like, it was really good.
So, I mean, I guess judging by the title, it seems like a pretty serious animated series. Is that true? I mean, is there any like comedy or anything?
No, there's a lot of comedy. Yeah, there's a lot of comedy.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember like watching the intro. I have seen a couple of episodes, but I've never actually like watched them. But I remember like them talking about the wizard Yaku, and he sent somebody into the future and blah blah. And I was like, oh, this looks pretty interesting. Yeah. I just never got into it. I just never got to watch it.
See, the last air date for season 4 was 2004, and then it came back in 2017.
Yeah, they came back.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. So the guy that wrote this, he wrote Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah. I remember because they even said that like when back in the day when it came out, because Dexter's Lab was already getting big too.
Yeah.
They said, from the creator of Dexter's Lab, here's Samurai Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's awesome, man. That dude's got he's got a good imagination with his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Cartoon Network billed it as a series. This is a cinematic scope and that incorporates action, humor, and intricate artistry.
Yeah, even the way it's animated, the way it is animated, it looks real cool. It's got like that foreground background paper mache type of feel.
Oh, nice.
So I actually liked it when I did see the episodes that I saw. I actually should probably go back and give this one a rewatch because I did enjoy the couple episodes that I did see.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right on.
8.4 out of 10 on IMDb.
Ooh, yep.
So, all right, Jesus, what you got for your number 7?
I'm gonna go with the Flintstones.
Oh, hit him with the big guns. Dang. That is a classic. That's always gonna be a classic.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
They're a modern Stone Age family.
Yep.
I like that. A modern Stone Age family.
I love how animals are there to just to help. You got the elephant that sprays the lawn.
For the bath.
Yeah, sprays and for the bath. You got a pig that eats all the leftover leftover dinner, whatever. Yep. You got the big old, was it the crab that cuts the grass for you?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
got the pinchers.
Yeah, I mean, it's just great.
And he's got his own car, but it doesn't have an engine. He's got to use his feet.
Yeah, he's got to use his feet.
And he's like, Wilma.
Yeah, and got Dino.
Yeah. The Rubbles, Barney Rubble was his homie.
Yeah, homie for life.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made bowling interesting to me.
Bowling?
I would always love to do the tiptoe. You know what I'm saying? The Fred Flintstone special. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Flintstones, man, that's old school, dude. I remember watching it when I was a kid, and I was like, "Yeah, this show's cool." And then they came out with the movie with John Goodman.
Oh yeah,
that's when I was like, "Man, I didn't sleep on the Flintstones, but man, I should have watched more of it because this movie was good."
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. It says here that after the Flintstones, that the Flintstones was mostly financially successful network animated franchise for 3 decades until The Simpsons debuted decades later.
Wow.
2013, TV Guide ranked the Flintstones the second greatest TV cartoon of all time after The Simpsons.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. It's an animated sitcom, so that's interesting. I like sitcoms. Situational comedy, you know what I mean? Like something that could happen in real life, and it's modern Stone Age. Like, it's pretty cool. I like it.
How do you even say that? Like, right? You're like modern Stone Age.
Yeah, like modern Stone Age, like the car. Like,
hey, play that modern Baroque piece that you know.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like neoclassicism. Like, you gotta. What's that dude's name? Famous guitar player. Everybody knows him.
There's a bunch of them. But Yngwie is the one I think of.
There you go, Yngwie. That's the guy I was thinking about. Yeah. Yep. So that's my number. What is that? Number 7?
Number 7. Yeah.
Yeah. The Flintstones. Yeah, I kind of had to dig deep on this one because I haven't watched any animated series as of late. But I mean, when I started thinking about it, I was like, man, I remember this one. I remember that one. So,
I already got I think I got 3 of James's down. And I'm placing bets by on my own to figure out where his number 1 is, and I think I know what it is though.
Oh, okay, man, I can't wait to hear that one.
So I'm gonna go number 7, right?
Yeah, number 7.
I'm gonna go with my number 7. My number 7 is a more recent show. It's all about metal.
And
cartoons. Metalocalypse.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Man, when this show came out, man, I was like, dude, they did heavy metal. Doom metal, thrash metal, and they did it on cartoons, and then, it was just so epic, dude.
Yeah, for sure, man.
They came out with an album, and oh man, the whole series, man. Even the riffs were good. Like, even though there's some of them are super simple.
Yeah,
man, I love it. This show is just funny. It's dark. People get their head chopped off, and I love it, man. This is one of my favorite shows for sure.
It really is good.
Hyperbolic black comedy. Wow, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, dude.
The show was widely heralded as both a parody and a pastiche of heavy metal culture. The music written by guitarist creator Brendan Small was credited to the band and featured in most episodes. The animation was often carefully synced to the music, with the chord positions and fingering of the guitar part shown in some detail. Wow, that's cool.
They would you know how you do motion capture like with dots on your body?
Right.
You would actually do motion capture with fingers on a fretboard.
No way.
To show like on the cartoons what it looked like when he was playing the riffs.
Wow, that's so cool, man. I got to see that.
Yeah, dude, it's so brutal. This show is just great.
Wow, that's so cool. Man, these dudes are all old now. Brendan Small, Tommy Blaka, Mark Himmel, and Malcolm McDowell. I think we heard of that guy. He's an actor, isn't he?
The only one I really know is Brendan Small, and that's just because I know him from the show. Like,
right.
I mean, he went on to do a couple other things here and there, but his major success was from this show, really. I mean, he wrote all the music to it. He put all the production in the music, and then he put the shows around the music.
Man, this dude is freaking nonstop. He's a writer, a producer, voice actor, stand-up comedian.
Yep.
Wow, that's pretty cool, man. It's inspiring.
So, yeah, this dude. I mean, but this show just it brings me back to I think it was like 2000. When did it come out? Let's see. I feel like 2003, 2004, somewhere. 2006. It came out in 2006.
Cool. So what, I guess, do you have a best episode or maybe like a concept that kept on reoccurring in the cartoon?
Probably whatever episode had the song Mermaider in it. They're trying to awaken this god Kraken from the deep. Playing this concert under in a what do you call it? Not an aquarium, but where they're underwater.
Mm.
And they're just trying to awaken him with just crazy blast beats and heavy metal riffs.
Wow, it's cool. Kind of like the opera singer trying to break the glass.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So I mean, the whole show is just really good. They do random stuff. It's not a show. I mean, it is kind of a chronological show. Like they do things chronologically, but it's not a show that you just have to watch every episode. You can just pick up any episode and it'd be great.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. So that was your number 7, eh?
Yep.
Nice. Who's next? Am I up next to bat?
No, I think you just did yours, didn't you?
Okay.
Yeah, Flintstones.
That's number 7, no?
Yeah. So
it was. On number 6.
No. You did your 7 too, Fro?
Yeah, Samurai Jack.
Oh man. All right. Afro Samurai.
Was that one of your picks, Fro?
No. Afro Samurai is actually kind of like a knockoff of Afro Jack, but it's got Jackson as the main character.
I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and one of my YouTube series I like is called Death Battle.
Yeah.
And Samurai Jack bodies Afro Samurai. Sorry.
It's true.
Yeah.
But you got Samuel L. Jackson in a cartoon with the guy that's
really good.
Oh, dude, that's got to be good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good series.
Wow.
All right, number 6. Whose number 6 is it?
I can do them.
All right, start off with the number 6 then.
Who's it? Okay, you guys want me to tell? Let me see.
Yeah, let's go with yours.
I don't know, man. These kind of suck. I'm just gonna go with Looney Tunes. I mean, all the Looney Tunes. Tasmanian Devil.
Yeah.
I just remember Saturday morning. You know how you had the Animaniacs.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's part of the Looney Tunes crowd. It might be. You got Bugs Bunny. Just all those. Was it Donald Duck or Daffy Duck or one of those?
Daffy Duck, yeah.
Daffy Duck. I mean, Looney Tunes just freaking did it, man. They had all kinds of cartoons. They had all kinds of characters, and they were animals. That's what freaked me out. Like, I mean, I guess those were the first cartoons were animals. You know. I mean, which was the first cartoon that had actually humans in there? You know. And and even when you did see the humans in old school, you would only see them for a split second. They would be the cat's owner or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Well, they had Yosemite Sam, right? You remember him?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they're great. Yeah.
Yeah. So Yosemite Sam with the gun, he would be he would get pissed off, oh, you know.
Yeah.
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 I hate that rabbit.
Yeah. For sure, man. Looney Tunes. I mean, Saturday morning cartoons for me.
I mean, you can never go wrong with Looney Tunes, though, right? I mean, I got freaking Marvin the Martian on my head.
Yeah, you see, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Elmer Fudd, Tweety, Sylvester, Foghorn Leghorn. That was one of Cousin Raymond's. Remember?
Yeah,
he would sing a song on that one. Marvin the Martian, Pepe Le Pew, dude. I can't forget about him.
Yeah, dude.
Speedy Gonzales,
Tasmanian Devil, Roadrunner, and Wile E. Coyote. I guess I kind of just took one from the Looney Tunes crowd for my number 10, but I mean.
But it's all good. Like I said, I think I'm pretty sure a lot of these even had their own shows.
Yeah, so. It was under the Chuck Jones. Chuck Jones did a lot of separate cartoon, skits.
And Chuck Jones, who's that?
The dude that I just remember his name after every Looney Tune
with
show.
Porky Pig on the end of it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So one of the producers or directors,
something like that. I just remember Chuck Jones, man. I'm just like, goodness.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe even the creator. Not even. I don't even know.
I guess he was the guy that drew them all.
I mean, you can't really go wrong with Looney Tunes. Like I said, I mean, even like if you pick Baby Looney Tunes, I still would have gave it to you.
Yeah,
it was a good show.
All of them were in a house together, and they were being nurtured by grandma.
By grandma, yeah, the same grandma that takes care of Tweety.
Yeah, takes care of
they're all old. Yeah.
So
that's a good one.
A handful of Looney Tunes and Merry Melody shorts are no longer aired on American television, nor are they available for sale by Warner Brothers because of the racial and ethnic stereotypes of Black people, American Indians, Asians, such as Japanese during World War II. Wow. Chinese, Germans, and Italians. 11 cartoons were withdrawn from distribution in 1968 that prominently featured stereotypical Black characters. Wow.
Yeah, even a lot of the Tom and Jerry stuff, like they had some of the episodes, they had Black owners, or not even, they weren't their owners, they were the house people, that like the maids and the butlers and whatever you want to call, like if you want to call them slaves, then they were slaves. But that's what they were in the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, stereotypical. Yeah. I mean, it was old school too, like 1960s. It's talking about.
I mean, you think about a lot of this stuff too, right? Like, I mean, Pepe Le Pew, that dude was basically on top of women. I mean, you can't do that nowadays. You know what I mean?
For sure, and he was the stereotypical Mexican or Hispanic.
Yeah, well, Pepe Le Pew was the French one, and then you had Speedy Gonzales.
Speedy Gonzales. There you go.
Speedy Gonzales was
So,
right on.
And then you got his cousin Slowpoke Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
Yeah. Slowpoke Rodriguez. Can't forget him.
But even in the cartoons, like a lot of, like I think later on, like a little bit later on, they even started like smoking and stuff.
Right on.
They were smoking in Tom and Jerry. You know what I'm saying? Or I mean,
Tom rolls up a big old fatty trying to get a girl.
Yeah.
Tobacco fatty, but it's still a fatty.
And he used Jerry to lick the cigarette for him. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude is cold, man.
Nice.
I mean, like I said, Looney Tunes, you can never go wrong.
Right on.
It's good stuff.
I feel 10 times more safer.
That was your number 6?
Looney Tunes, yes.
I'm gonna go with my number 6. My number 6 is Boondocks.
Oh, I had that on my list, but I took it off.
Oh man, dude, Boondocks.
Yeah, I understand why.
That show's so good. It's about these two little black boys. They grew up in the hood with their granddad, and they're just going through life. One of them is just real like centered.
Actually, they live in the suburbs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they do. I mean, this is true.
Yeah, but they have like that just that really like that connection though. That's like you're from the hood. Like stop snitching.
Yeah.
Don't be a bitch. Type of thing. So
it's real. Yeah, it's real connected to like black culture. Dude, Samuel L. Jackson plays a white guy in that.
Yeah.
Show.
Yeah. He does. Yes, it's so cool.
It's so good, man. It's so good. The
old color gangster too.
Yeah, he's gangster. The dad is the dad from Friday. the granddad.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
He's always like, what is you wearing? He's all, this is the new Gangstalicious man bag, Dad.
Gangstalicious.
Dude, that shows it's just so good. It's just, but it's real raunchy.
Yeah.
But it also kind of has like I mean, it's kind of weird to say it, but it also has like kind of like a martial artist, like little bit thrown in there here and there.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of hood thrown in.
Yeah.
It's got, it's just a great show. It's about
really
two kids just growing up.
I guess there's really not a lot of shows like that are geared towards certain cultures in our society.
Yeah.
I mean, there was another one. I can't really think about it. Bebe's Kids. You remember that one?
No, I never saw that.
I think, I'm not sure if it was an animated show. I think it was just it might have been a film, but Bebe's Kids. I guess that could be my honorable mention since I don't have it on my list.
Cool.
But yeah, yeah, it was a film actually. It wasn't a television series, but I guess it just goes back to what I was saying that there's not
I don't
just like books, you know what I mean? Like kids books. There's really not a lot of culture, like books that are geared toward culture, you know what I mean? And if they are geared toward culture, it's just like one type of culture from one type of city, you know what I mean? And it's not just like a whole bunch of them to get a whole bunch of different flavors of that type of culture, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Baby Kids, that reminds me of the TV show that was on Disney Channel called the Proud Family.
Right.
Yeah. So that was actually a really good TV show too.
Right.
That was real.
I forgot about that one.
I mean, not racially diverse, but it was just centered towards Black American family.
Right on. Cool.
And Grandma was a gangster in that one too.
She was
a gangster.
All right, Prim, what you got? Number 6.
Man, I gotta hit you with the Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh
man, growing up watching this as my number 6 was the best.
All right, let me test you. How do you spell Yu-Gi-Oh?
YU-GI-capital, yeah.
Capital N-O.
No, O as O-H and then the exclamation mark.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, I like I used to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! I always thought it was like the cheesiest show ever, but I thought it was still so cool.
It was so cool, you know what I'm saying? These dudes battling with some cards, yo. I've never like Pokemon was okay for me, but it wasn't a card game. Pokemon was never a card game.
No, it wasn't.
Until they made the card game.
Exactly.
Pokemon had Pokeballs and real animals that are out in the world that you could catch, train. You know what I'm saying? That was cool and all. But when it came out with Yu-Gi-Oh, I got these cards and they're coming to life. That was another level for me. I was like, whoa.
Man, this is fantasy, bro. This is like stuff that just made up in somebody's mind.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yu-Gi-Oh is
so you liked Digimon too then? Because I mean those were cards that
I did not like Digimon. I could not. Digimon was
no, I didn't like that series either. But
so were you introduced to the cards first or the cartoon first?
The cartoon. The cartoon.
Funny story. I was introduced to the cards first by James.
Yeah.
And then like the next, there's a show about this. We should watch it. And I was like, all right, let's do that.
It was great. It's because the show came out before the cards, obviously. But the show, the cards didn't come out till like 2 years later. And when the cards came out, man, it was like, yo, these cards are out. And we were kids. We didn't know how much value the cards had. We didn't know how to trade. You know what I'm saying? We were getting. It was all types of crazy.
But it's kind of cool, right? Because you see your hero or whoever on the screen playing with these cards, and then you open a pack of cards and you get those same cards.
Get those same cards that are from the TV show. You're like, oh,
nice.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I got that card. Let's go watch the episode.
So you're like, I got the same weapons that my hero got.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
So you know what I'm saying? I got the most iconic card in there, or the Blue Eyes White Dragon and the Dark Magician.
Yeah.
Everybody has those cards, and they're the most printed cards in the whole Yu-Gi-Oh collection.
So I'm guessing it's still a pretty popular game then.
Yeah, it's expensive as hell though now, man.
It's still really popular. It became the Yu-Gi-Oh series, the cartoon series actually is still going on with like different renditions. So like Yu-Gi-Oh, and then it was Yu-Gi-Oh XY. And then it was Yu-Gi-Oh!
5Ds and
so it keeps going. They kept going with the series,
but it would never beat the original Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, but the original Yu-Gi-Oh! I can say was probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, it was just.
So I guess I'm guessing it's made like in Japan or something like that, or China or something.
Yeah, technically this would be considered an anime.
Anime,
which is basically a cartoon, a Japanese cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So what's manga? I keep seeing that come up in this
That's
article.
That's like the book.
Okay.
Is the book.
You read it a certain way, right? You read it.
Yeah, it's like a comic book, but an actual book, thick book.
So in America we have cartoons and comics.
Yeah.
In Japan they have anime and mangas.
Oh. So what? I mean, are you? Would you say that the Japanese have more fantasy cartoons as opposed to like Americans that have more situational type of?
No, if you really look at a lot of the Japanese stuff that comes out, they do have fantasy like we do, but I've noticed that a lot more of their stuff is based around like kids, high school kids, middle school kids, and they're either on a team or they're doing something with a whole bunch of other people, or it's a card game. But I would say more or less the Japanese stuff is usually about like humans, like doing stuff. Whereas in America, it's still humans doing stuff, but we also get cartoons of like cats and dogs and Tom and Jerry and stuff like that.
Right. Cool. It's interesting. Another cultural relevance there in cartoons.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't really have a rating on this though, so I can't.
Yeah, it'd probably be kind of hard to find. Let me see. 7 out of 10 IMDb, 8.7 out of 10 on TV.com. So
that's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah.
Good
TV show. Good TV show. Especially growing up as a kid, man. It was crazy.
All right, let's move on to our number 5s. What you got, Jesus?
I got Doug.
Oh, Doug! Yo, I forgot about Doug.
You got Patty Mayonnaise, Skeeter.
Yeah.
That's right, dude. Doug was my show.
What's the name of the band that they always liked?
The Beats.
The Beats, yeah.
Wow, Doug. Oh my
God, that
God.
was my show, dude. I used to know everything about that show. Banging on a trash can.
Yeah,
man. On a street light. Yeah,
can't forget Doug, man. You can't forget Doug.
Yeah, and then they had the evil dude in school.
Oh yeah. The dude with the leather jacket and the kind of funny looking hair.
Yeah.
So that was actually, check this out. That was actually Nickelodeon. We haven't had a lot of Nickelodeons on here.
Nah, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. So it says right here, platonic and romantic relationships, self-esteem, bullying, and rumors. I guess it was kind of that middle school, early high school stuff that we related to when we were watching it.
Yeah, for sure.
Situational comedy, animated. I think it's just something to relate to. I think that's one of the reasons why I had watched it a lot. There was 7 seasons. Season 7 had the most. Started 1991, ended 1998.
There was, but the thing about like that time was Nickelodeon was actually coming out with their good cartoons at that time.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about a couple of them here in a little bit, but I mean, you had the Rugrats,
right?
You had, what's that dude's name? Rocko's Modern Life.
Mm-hmm.
There was a bunch of good shows that came out around that time. And Doug, for me, Doug would have stuck out of all of them. I would have put that all on my list. I do have another Nickelodeon show that's coming up on here, but
yeah,
that show in particular I did enjoy that show, probably out of all the other Nickelodeon ones.
Yeah, it was really
for sure.
I mean, plus I mean, one of the most popular TV shows on Nickelodeon is SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah.
And that kind of just like blew. I can't watch SpongeBob, man. I don't know. There's something about that TV show. I just feel like
I used to be like that too. Like I used to be like, I don't want to watch SpongeBob, but then I actually gave it a chance and it's pretty fun.
I've been trying to give it a chance, man, but it's like the only person I can relate to is Squidward.
He's just old and grumpy.
Yeah, he's just like, SpongeBob is kind of annoying. He's always in your face. Patrick is really dumb, and you got the greedy crab. I'm just like, okay. But yeah, I mean, and then Plankton. Then there's Plankton, which is really cool too.
He's trying to take over the world.
Yeah. You did have Rugrats. You did have Dora the Explorer that kind of came out like a couple of years later.
Did Nickelodeon stick to cartoons? I mean, didn't they have like actual just shows where they were cartoons?
So from what I remember, they had cartoons to begin with, and then they started mixing in like Legends of the Hidden Temple, and
that was the best, bro. Yeah.
They had a bunch of live shows, also, and then they started having like shows like All That, which inspired other shows that came. It was kind of like their Saturday Night Live, basically.
Right. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. So then you started getting like Keenan and Kel that came from that, and then Good Burger, and then like all these other shows that spawned off of just that one show.
Right on for sure. Yeah, Nickelodeon, man.
They had a lot of good ones.
Nickelodeon. So, Skeeter's name was Mosquito. That's why they called him Skeeter.
Yeah.
Mosquito Valentine. I didn't know that. Wow. Cool. So that was my number 5?
Yeah, number 5.
Nice. Okay.
No, wait, that was your number 6, I think, right? Or
no, it was 5.
No, we were on 5.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna go because mine is also a Nickelodeon show. Mine is Ren and Stimpy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I knew it. I was coming.
You idiot!
You idiot!
Dude, Ren and Stimpy was like the South Park of their time. You know what I mean?
Because it really was.
They made the most raunchiest stuff, but they made it into where kids didn't even notice it. You go back and you watch some of that stuff, man, and it's like horrible. Well, yeah, but it's still funny.
Nice.
So I remember what was his name was like French Toast Man or Captain Toast Man or something, and then they had like log. They would just sell log to like kids.
Yeah,
dude. Ren and Stimpy. If South Park started the generation of like Family Guy and American Dad and all that stuff that we have now, Ren and Stimpy started like at the time where like Beavis and Butthead and all that stuff. That's like the beginning of it for me, where raunchy cartoons actually started making it come up.
So Ren and Stimpy, did they hate each other?
No, it's just that Ren was smart dumb and Stimpy was dumb.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'm just trying to make a connection here because Ren is a Chihuahua, which is a dog, and Stimpy is a cat.
Yes.
You know, and just like Tom and Jerry, like, you know, kind of worked for that long time, you know, for that type of for that, you know, age or whatever. And then you got Ren and Stimpy, that's a cat and a dog also. And I was thinking that maybe if they hated each other, it'd be kind of still like Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
But these guys, you know, they're kind of different, but they're still homies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got off-color humor, sexual innuendo, dark humor, adult jokes, and violence.
Yeah.
This controversy contributed to the production staff's altercations with Nickelodeon's Standards and Practices Department.
Honestly, this show would have really flourished if it was like on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was that time where Nickelodeon didn't want to be known for being raunchy. They didn't want to be MTV. They didn't want to be Adult Swim. They wanted to be kid-friendly shows. And
yeah, but having Ren and Stimpy, they must have known that there's good cartoons that are adult friendly, you know what I mean? Or I guess more geared like toward, you know, adults' eyes instead of, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I
like they knew that it was there, but like you're saying, it's at a time that they were like, well, maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. Let's try it out, whatever.
Yeah, but there were other shows that were a little bit more adult at that time too. The one that comes to mind for me is Rocko's Modern Life, which was a kid show, but it also had like an adult aspect to it as well. You know what I mean? So it wasn't as far-fetched and like as far out there as Ren and Stimpy was, but it was still a little bit more of an adult show.
Nice.
So, but yeah, man, Ren and Stimpy, that's like old school OGs. I would like Beavis and Butthead, Ren and Stimpy. I always think of those two like put together.
For sure.
7.5 out of 10 on IMDb. So,
nice. Wow. All right. My number 5.
Yes, sir.
Cartoon Network special, The Regular Show.
I knew that was coming.
Regular Show, man.
I was afraid you said that.
Really good. It's about
I can't get into this show.
Oh man, it's really good. Like you get these two friends that are just, they know what's right from wrong, but they just choose to do wrong just because. I mean, they work at this park, you know. They live in the same house as the owner of the park, you know, and then like they just always try to slack off and doing the job so they can have free time and just go do whatever they want. And it always fails, man. It just always fails.
It don't happen for them.
Yeah, it just don't. It's just like wow.
So one of them is named Mordecai.
Yeah, the other one's name's Rigby. One's a bird and one's a
blue
yeah.
A blue jay and a raccoon. Wow.
Yeah. It's
two
awesome.
working class friends, both employed as groundskeepers at a local park.
Yeah.
They usually try to solve simple problem, but then it leads to surreal, extreme, and often supernatural misadventure. Oh wow. During these misadventures, they interact with the show's other main characters: Benson, Pops, Skip, Music Man, High Five, Ghost, Margaret, and Eileen.
Muscle Man. You got Muscle Man.
Yeah, Muscle Man.
Yeah, Muscle. That dude was funny. That dude was really funny.
Yeah.
He always cracked jokes about his mom.
This show was good. I have seen a few episodes. I just couldn't get into it. It just wasn't. I don't know. Something about it didn't click with me. But it was still a good show. It was funny from the episodes that I did see. This series actually just ended last year.
Yeah.
They had their last episode in January of 2017. So
yeah,
for 8 seasons they were going.
Wow, that was Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really good TV show. Got to get
8.4 out of 10 on IMDb on that one.
The regular show.
Or actually, it's just called regular show. Wow. Regular.
Yeah, it's not even it's just regular show.
All right, is it number 4 now?
Yeah.
Number 4, I got the Batman.
With the OG, the cartoon Batman?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of liked it because it was kind of like it kind of went after the actual movie with Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton. It just kind of went after that, you know what I mean? It still had the same type of music as the one that was on the movie. I don't know. I just kind of liked it. I just like Batman. You know what I mean? I always have since I was a kid. And when I was able to watch that, I was like, oh, cool. There's more episodes. It's not just the Joker, you know, and I wanted to see more of that at the time. And I really wasn't into like reading comics. And to this day, like it's hard for me to read comics. You know what I mean? I can really just don't get into it.
Yeah.
I rather just kind of, I know it kind of sucks, but I kind of just like to watch what's out there, you know, as far as comics goes. But yeah, the Batman.
The Batman animated series, the one that there was a bunch of different ones, right? But the one that I think of is the one that came out on Fox. It came out like on Saturday mornings, stuff like that, and it was the Batman with the he had the red in the background, and he had his cloak going over his face.
Oh yeah.
So but yeah, I didn't like when I was a kid. This was when did this come out? 94.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
It came out in 92, right? So I did watch the show, but I didn't really know who Batman was. I didn't know who superheroes were. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it because of the like the art style, like that noir art style.
Right.
That's what I really enjoyed about it. Of course, Batman's a boss. You know what I mean? You got the Joker in there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Mark Hamill that was doing it at the time. Yeah. So
I'm sure it was.
But yeah, man, Batman, the original series, I enjoyed that show a lot. I got to learn, like you said, about all the villains he had. Scarecrow and the Hand of Midas was, I think, one of them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, you had Danny Elfman was. He was still. I think he was still the composer for that. I think it was in what 92. You said. Yeah, 89, 92, something like that. Yeah. Yep.
And we haven't really talked about Fox, man, but Fox had some good shows too. Like I didn't even think about this show when I was making my list, but Bobby's World was the Fox show.
Yeah,
so
Fox Kids.
They had a bunch of good shows as well.
Right on, Fox Kids, man.
What you got, Preem, for your
number 4? I got Family Guy.
Yeah, that's a good
one. Family Guy. When I first saw this, it was on Adult Swim as well.
Let's see.
I was like, "What is this?" And I just started watching it. I didn't know any of the jokes. I didn't know anything. It was just another cartoon that I wanted to watch.
Yeah.
With Futurama, because it was back to back. It was Family Guy and then Futurama.
Both of those shows are great. Honestly, like they should be on my list, but I had to cut so much out.
Yeah, but this one did make it, and it's still going strong to this day.
Yeah, he even like knockoff shows about this what's his name? The creator.
Seth MacFarlane.
So yeah, Seth MacFarlane. So I mean, he does like half of the voices on the show.
Yeah,
he's you want to talk about another talented guy that does a lot for this show? This guy, you know, he does so much for the show. He comes up with a lot of the skits. He even talked about one time how he just comes up with stuff like all the time.
Yeah, it's like, how do they do that? You know what I mean? They have to be engulfed with like reading and freaking just every day on the day grind. You know what I mean? To come up with this type of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I just when I think of Family Guy, I honestly just think of The Simpsons. Like they're paralleled almost identically, but the Family Guy just has a little bit more like of a again a darker side to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're still both great shows. But the Family Guy, like I said,
were you able to see that episode? The one where Family Guy, where they went to Springtown.
Yeah, they went to Springfield.
Yeah, Springfield. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
and they met Homer and Bart and Lisa, and they all it was crazy. One of the biggest crossovers since Flintstones Meet the Jetsons.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's what they compared it to. Yeah, a lot of people were saying that.
Wow, 16 seasons, man.
Yeah.
They got 17 to be announced in September 30th, 2018.
I'm sure they'll keep it going. This is again one of those shows where I feel like it's just going to keep going.
Wow. So what do you think makes these shows keep going? You know, like which other one did we had? Was South Park is still going?
Yeah.
I'm surprised. The Simpsons is like really still strong. They're still winning like awards and stuff.
I think it's just the cult followings that these shows get. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just people enjoy these shows, and if they try to get rid of them, they'll like. I know for The Simpsons. Like I think a couple of seasons ago, they were actually going to cut The Simpsons.
Really?
And everybody in the studio took a pay cut for them to stay on.
Oh wow!
Because they wanted to keep making the show. You know what I mean?
And it's still a great show. I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why they did the Family Guy crossover is because like, let's kind of do something that's booming right now and see if we can get booming. And they're still booming. Like that. Yeah.
You know, I was thinking like actual TV shows with actual people, like they get old. You know what I mean? Yeah. Physically, they get older. Here, like the voices stay the same. You know what I mean?
General Hospital.
For the most part, you know what I mean? I think that's. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, dude. General Hospital's been going for like 25 years.
Yeah, that's true. Since my mom was little, yeah, dude. Like
some of them have died off, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
haven't they?
They're got really still like one, for instance, is Luke and Laura. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. Because they started, they're still alive, but they're old. And when they do flashbacks, they actually do flashbacks from the old
series.
Yeah, from the old episode, and just like damn. And my mom's like, "Oh, I remember that episode." I'm like, damn, what? For real? I was like, it's crazy.
No, but you're right though. Like the reason again, you're talking about longevity of shows. That's basically a really big reason of why they can keep doing it because the actors don't get as you don't notice it.
Maggie's still a baby. You know?
Yeah, I saw a video of the person that does Bart's voice.
The lady.
It's a lady. Like I freaked out, and she was talking to this kid, and he was like, "What? Are you really Bart Simpson?" You know, and you never know who they are. You know, in real life. That's what I'm like. That's like kind of what you're saying. What we're saying is that actors they grow older. Like look at The Office. Like I didn't want that show to end. Steve Carell left. And then eventually it just kind of dwindled down to where it was. These actors now they're trying to find new stuff. Like Jack Ryan, who's that. What's the name of that guy from The Office? But he's having his own film on Netflix, Jack Ryan.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, I think that's another reason why there's longevity too. And then even Looney Tunes or whatever, there wasn't hardly any speaking at all. So it was just all up to the animators. Yeah, and you could have different animators, doing the same cartoon for years and years and years.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of the characters I know a lot of the actors that do the characters' voices because I enjoy going and looking at people do that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know who anybody was until I found out that Mark Hamill, who was my idol kind of when I was growing up because he was, Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
And then I found out he was the Joker and I was like, nah, no way.
Right on. Yeah. Same here.
So, I mean,
I only found out he was in the Joker and Jay and Silent Bob because he did the voice. I was like, That sounds just like the Joker.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what?
So
I like when he read Trump tweets as the Joker.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. What?
Mark Hamill's actually, like, from what I've heard, like, I've seen videos with him and stuff. He just seems like the most down to earth dude.
Yeah,
like, it's cool to talk to.
Cool. I think. I wonder if like part of his role as the Joker for so many years had kind of went over to the latest film that he was in. Which one? Yeah, the Star Wars one. Like I think I could, and then I think I too. Like I kind of try to listen to like that sounds a little bit like the way he would sound like in the cartoon.
Yeah,
because they do it for so many years and years and years, and it just becomes a part of them. You know, especially for animated series like we're talking about, like the lady who plays Bart Simpson.
Yeah. What's wrong, Bats?
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Was that everybody's number 4?
No, number 4.
Oh yeah, we were on number 4s, right? So y'all two did y'all's?
Yes.
All right. So my number 4, and the reason why Scooby-Doo was my honorable mention is because a pup named Scooby-Doo is my number 4.
What?
Yeah, dude. A pup named Scooby-Doo.
Pup named Scooby-Doo
was like I just enjoyed it more than Scooby-Doo. You know, I could relate to it more, I guess, because I was a kid or whatever when I was watching it. But the animation was a little bit better because it was later on down the line when animation was starting to get good.
Yeah.
But you see these kids and they're actually trying to solve mysteries. You know what I mean? So I could relate to it more. But then you got there's an episode where Scooby-Doo is actually Daphne's dog. And Daphne's rich in the whole series. She's always been rich. So that you go into like this little dog house that's Scooby's, and it opens up into like this huge mansion. And I was always just like, yeah, I could see Scooby living like that with just Scooby snacks everywhere.
Everywhere.
So, but then, I mean, you even had a character in there and his name was Red Herring. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Red Herring.
And so they would always be like, it was Red Herring.
Yeah,
and it wasn't until later on.
Yeah.
It wasn't until later on in like English class, like in high school, when I found out what a red herring was. You know what I mean? I never got that reference. And then later on in life, I was like, oh, it clicks. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So, but yeah, man, this show was good. I enjoyed watching it. It just takes me the nostalgia of this show. I just enjoyed it a lot.
Wow. So this was before actual Scooby-Doo, huh?
No. Well, yeah, you're right. It was before Scooby-Doo, but it was animated, you know, I think in like the 90s.
I see. Cool. Rock and roll style songs were played during the chase scene in each episode, similar to the second season episodes of Scooby-Doo. Where Are You? Unlike previous versions of the show, however, the kids were often aware that music was being played and would dance for a bit along with the ghosts and monsters before continuing with the chase.
Yeah.
This show, I mean, a lot of people actually enjoyed this show too. I think it has like a pretty big following, like a what do you call those? Like when like a fan writer, like the fans write the episodes and stuff. I've seen like a web page is dedicated to fan writing of this show.
That's cool.
Yeah. So.
Eat Scooby snacks, Scooby-Doo. Yeah, dude. Damn, I totally forgot about this one.
Scooby-Doo. Yeah, I had a whole new theme song and everything.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. Well, that's our top 3, guys.
Wow, that's crazy. I remember watching this all the time, but it never came to mind.
Yeah, dude. 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb, but it's still a great show.
Cool. Man, we got a good list going here.
All right.
So my turn.
What you got for number 3, Jesus?
Number 3, I'm gonna go with SpongeBob SquarePants.
SpongeBob.
Yeah, man, I gotta like SpongeBob. Like, okay, I didn't watch SpongeBob. I don't know how old I was. I think I was like 25 or something. But when I watched it, like the reason why I liked it is because it got my mind off of my problems.
Yeah.
And it was funny. Like that's what it did for me. That's why I like SpongeBob. I mean, it was just freaking funny. Just like the smallest, simplest stuff to help me take my mind off of my problem. I was just like, dude, that's funny. Like SpongeBob. And then he's got that high-pitched voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And just that's funny in itself, you know. SpongeBob SquarePants. You know, he's a freaking sponge, you know what I mean? He lives in the water, you know. You got the squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has the helmet on.
Yeah.
You got that dude that plays the clarinet. I'm a musician. He's just jamming out on the clarinet. The Krabby Patty, you know what I mean?
Yeah. The chum bucket.
Cool. Yeah, the chum bucket. I mean, it's cool. Like I said, it just helped me take my mind off my problems, and it's just like, man, this is a pretty cool show. I can see why kids like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could not get into that show, man. I don't know why. I guess because I had shows like Ed and Eddie, Scooby Doo, and Grim. You know, just other Dexter's Laboratory.
It is a lot harder from going from shows that we like to watch, like the Adult Swim type shows, to SpongeBob. But I mean, I do know that like my kids love SpongeBob. You know what I mean? They watch it all the time. Whenever my daughter, she can like quote movies and watch it all day if I would let her. So
yeah, like I totally agree. Like it's a totally different type of humor. And I think your mind really has to kind of be open to that.
It's more honestly, it's more of like a childish humor. You know what I mean? Because SpongeBob is basically like a kid living in an adult world.
Right on.
So
yeah, for sure. What is that? Who did that? Nickelodeon or
Nickelodeon, yeah.
Nickelodeon? Okay. Cool. Episodes, how many are they still going? How many episodes? How many seasons they got? 11 seasons. I think they got 11 seasons, started in 1999. The latest one, they had a movie actually 2020 coming up.
Yeah.
And then the next one to be announced, I guess, June 24, 2017. So they had 11 episodes. Oh, they had 2 movies already. They're coming on the 3rd.
One just came out not too long ago. What was it called?
2015, Sponge Out of the Water. That's
Out of the Water, yeah.
Sponge Out of the Water. Yeah, man, for sure.
He's got his little snail named Gary.
Yeah. Gary Plankton.
Yeah. It's a good show, man. Yeah. Like I said, it's just not something that we watched because it was not as grim and as adult as we would like to watch it.
Check this out. 2011, creator Helen Berg first announced the release of a 32-page bi-monthly comic book series, SpongeBob Comics, based on the show.
Cool.
The release marked of the first time Hillenburg authors own his own book. I'm hoping that the fans will enjoy finally having SpongeBob comic book for me. Comic book series is published by Hillenburg's production company, United Plankton Pictures. Pretty cool. Paramount Pictures picked them up. Nickelodeon Movies. What kind of music they got? Billboard's Top 100, SpongeBob SquarePants original theme highlights. I'm thinking, didn't Pantera do some kind of cartoon for like one cartoon? Was it SpongeBob?
I don't think so.
It was one of them. I forgot which one it was. It was kind of interesting. Various artists, including the Flaming Lips, Wilco, Ween, Motorhead, The Shins, and Avril Lavigne, contributed to the soundtrack and reached 76 on the U.S. Billboard 200. Man, they even got their theme park. They even got theme park rides, video games, SpongeBob Square shorts, merchandise. Yeah, so MTV, what are they doing in here? It is also the most distributed property of MTV Networks.
Well, MTV owns Nickelodeon, right?
Oh, okay.
So
there you go.
MTV actually owns a lot of stuff.
Really?
Or I guess Nickelodeon owns it.
Like on who is it? Jack Black on that one film. He's like, the man ruined the little thing. He ruined MTV. MTV. What is it?
No, he goes. He had to ruin that too with the little thing called MTV.
MTV.
Yeah.
I wonder if MTV really messed it up. You know what I mean? I guess it kind of, dude. I don't even want to get started on just like the different types of like pop music that's out there. It's just,
yeah, man.
A different top 10 day.
That'd be a different day.
Top 10 day for
top
that
10
one.
worst mumble rappers.
I'm getting kind of delirious.
All right, what you got for number 3, Preem?
Pretty much Jesse already cleared it. It's the Looney Tunes.
Okay.
But the Looney Tunes show.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They're all grown up, they all got jobs, and they all live on the same block.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It's just really great, man. You know what I'm saying? You got Bugs Bunny and Daffy, roommates.
Yeah, roommates.
And they're going through everyday struggles being grown ups. You know what I'm saying?
When he takes him to go get his driver's license.
Oh God, yes.
What the heck?
Yeah, dude, it's a more modern take on Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
It's really good though. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Nice.
The only thing I don't like about it is they played Lola Bunny as like the dumb blonde girl, and Bugs doesn't like her that much.
I like the way she was in Space
Jam. How can Bugs not like what's her name, dude?
It's crazy though, like because she's like a ditzy blonde, like always like, how was your day? Oh, let me tell you about my day. Anyways, you know, like damn.
Yeah, in Space Jam, she had like attitude, like she was.
Yeah. It's way different from the Looney Tunes show. Daffy is just like, he wants to work, but he wants to freeload. You know what I'm saying? He's living off Bugs' success as being, you know, the pretty much the king of Looney Tunes, and then they live right down the street from Yosemite Sam, Grandma, and Tweety and Sylvester, and then you know what I'm saying? Like it's all good. They all live right there.
So Daffy Duck is steady trying to get rich quick.
Yeah.
And like you know what I'm saying.
And so he's living. So he's dependent on Bugs for food and shelter.
Yeah. Bugs doesn't even mind either. You know what I'm saying?
He just has them there.
Yeah, it's a funny. It's only been on for like 4 seasons. Yeah. Oh no, 2 seasons actually, 2.
Yeah.
But man, it's funny. It's funny.
Yeah, that show's really good, man. Not a lot to say about it. Cartoon Network, of course, they know what they're doing, but yeah, that show's really good.
Yeah, I mean, the originals are great, but this one it's
super modern, right? So you relate to it a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to check that out.
That is my number 3.
That's your number 3.
Cool. All right. My number 3 is actually an anime, the only anime on my list. Really. Okay, so my number 3 is an anime called Death Note. It's kind of hard for me to explain this, but like basically Death Note to me is the best anime I've ever seen. And I've never seen any other anime compared to it. So whenever anybody's like, I'm like, hey, what can you recommend me to watch that's kind of like Death Note? And everybody's like, well, you kind of messed up because you started with the best ever anime ever created in that genre. You know what I mean? So basically what Death Note is it's about a guy, a really intelligent kid, a high schooler, who gets a hold of a journal where any name he writes down in it, the person that he writes down will die by a heart attack. If he writes down how they die, they will die in that manner within, I think, like an hour.
Whoa! And so he can't get away from his journal.
He can.
Yeah.
What ends up happening is he ends up becoming a little bit power hungry, and he ends up thinking he's more like a god. He's like, I can basically do whatever I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a really good series.
He's also accompanied by the what's the demon's name?
Dude, I can't even think right now.
Wow, a reclusive international criminal profiler.
Ryuk.
Wow. He's like a demon, basically. So basically the book is that demon's book.
Yeah. And whoever holds the book, the demon kind of clings onto.
Yeah, the demon clings, but the demon's not like bad or anything. They're just bored.
So where do you watch this this show?
This show was originally a manga.
Yeah.
So there was a comic book series on it, and then they ended up making it a show, like an animated series, and it's actually dubbed right now on Netflix if you want to watch it. However, I will say do not watch the movie rendition of this because it is absolutely terrible. It is a 0 out of 10 in my book.
They made a movie?
But this series is, I mean, if you like psychological like thrillers and like suspenseful like fight scenes and like it's kind of like watching a chess match but like intense. It's really good. It's a really good movie. It's a really good show, and I enjoyed it. I've watched it like 3 times all the way through.
Wow.
I just can't get enough. This could have been my number 1.
Nice, man.
Number 3 though. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I really like how the characters are like actual drawings of people, and they're really good drawings of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what you get when you talk more about animes. Again, just focus more on how people look and what people are doing in their everyday life, so it's a little bit more realistic.
Awesome,
the art styles.
I think you can. I mean, you can be more imaginative with that too, especially in cartoons, because you're not limited like actual film, you know. And I mean, nowadays movies are getting really not animated, but more computerized and stuff.
Yeah, CGI.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's pretty cool stuff, man.
Yeah, it's a really good series. If anybody ever wanted to watch an anime, or they were like, you know, what animes are good, and I would ask them, do you like action, or do you like suspenseful and psychological series? And I would if they did, I would direct them to this for sure.
Yeah, it
100%.
definitely seems like something that I would like to watch. Definitely.
Yeah, it's really good.
Nice.
So was that everybody's number 3?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, who's going? I guess Fro, let's get your number 2.
Easy. Dragon Ball Z.
I knew it was coming. I already knew.
Dragon Ball Z. It didn't make number 1. That's because I watched this more than I watched Dragon Ball Z. You're gonna trip out. But Dragon Ball Z, just Dragon Ball in general, was just great. I wasn't a really big fan of Dragon Ball though. I mean, I wasn't really. I mean, I watched it, of course. You know, the history between where Goku met all his friends. And then Dragon Ball Z is where all his friends had like really big fights now.
Yeah.
And then they're still continuing the series with Dragon Ball Super, which is just really good too, man. Oh man.
What, you forgot about Dragon Ball GT?
I mean, it was good. I watched all of it. It wasn't. I mean, I wouldn't recommend watching it.
Yeah.
It was.
As a person that's actually sat through every single episode of this series, and I don't like Dragon Ball, I would still say it's a really good show.
You watched all of GT?
I've watched all of the original Dragon Ball series.
Dragon
Ball Z. Sorry, I've watched Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I mean,
this is like one of my wife's favorite shows.
What's your favorite saga?
My favorite saga?
Yeah.
Probably the Android, wherever the androids come out.
Oh, okay. That's a pretty good one. I like that one. The Cell Saga was just my favorite.
Yeah, Cell Saga is everybody's favorite.
Actually, not everyone's favorite is Frieza.
But I mean, this show again, it back in the day when this show came out. You know what I mean? It was one of the first kind of like animes to really be adopted by the American culture.
Yeah.
Anytime you talk about like animes and like what people like started on or like what got them into it, it's usually like some form of like Dragon Ball Z, or for some other people it's like Sailor Moon and stuff like that. But this show was really what started it for the American culture, adopting the anime mainstream.
It's crazy too. Like, I mean, the fight scenes is really what kicked it up a notch. You know what I'm saying? They really went battle hungry. I mean.
It's just not a show I could really. I mean, it's one of those shows that's like really drawn out, like just for the sake of being drawn out. You know what I mean? There's a joke that says, "How many Super Saiyans does it take to change a light bulb?"
But it takes 30 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes 30 episodes, and one of the guys dies.
So,
you know what I mean? Because the shows are so drawn out, but they're really good. They're animated well. They got a lot of really interesting dialogue, but. It's just a show that I've actually seen the whole series, and I just didn't enjoy it that much. But I understand why it's on a lot of people's top 10 list.
Yeah, great.
Right on, Dragon Ball Z. Man, so they get dubbed in territories including United States, Canada, Australia, Europe, India, Latin America.
There are so many dubs of this.
I think it was Myra or Mario. They were telling me that they watched the series in Mexico.
That's what they were telling. Yeah.
Wow.
Dragon Ball.
That's where they've seen it. So
because it came out, but it came out there before it actually hit US.
So are there any other popular animes that this guy Tokao Kayoma wrote? The guy that wrote Dragon Ball Z?
Not that I know of.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just seeing if if a lot of anime they're just by different authors, or if they're by the same authors, you know what I mean? So just kind of like the guy that wrote what is it, Family Guy? Didn't he write other ones too?
Yeah, he's got other shows. As far as I know, I think this is the only thing. I don't know too much about this series, but I think he wrote like Dragon Ball Z, and then he quit, and then somebody else wrote Dragon Ball GT, and then he came back and he wrote. Now the new series is Dragon Ball Super, which he's writing again.
Oh wow.
Well, no, I mean, Akira Toriyama is writing Dragon Ball Super though.
Okay, well then, yeah, okay, so yeah, like I said, I don't know too much about the show, but I remember that the fans really didn't like GT because the original writer wasn't part of it.
Yeah.
Right on. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with all the anime, but when I was a substitute teaching, a lot of my students like they would read the manga books, and I thought it was pretty cool, especially like reading it backwards, like reading the book from left to right. You know, that's interesting. All right, who's my turn? Number 2?
Yeah, number 2.
Number 2, I have to go with The Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, the classic. That's a good pick.
Yeah,
I needed someone to have it on there.
Yeah,
the best.
Simpsons is on there. I mean, you got Bart Simpson, you got Homer, dude. Like Homer's like one of the favorite ones.
Yeah.
He works at this nuclear power plant, and his boss is kind of like evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Smithers.
Mr. Smithers.
Smithers is his assistant, isn't it? What's his
I'm not sure. Mark had the big old fro, you know what I mean? And she was just kind of just chill, like, yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah.
She wasn't really just like all in the mix. You had Maggie the baby, you had their dog, they had a cat. The sister, what's the name of the sister?
Mr. Burns.
Oh yeah.
Lisa.
Yeah,
Lisa. She played the saxophone. That was pretty cool.
You got his best friend Millhouse, Bart's best friend.
Yeah,
isn't he like Indian or something like that? One of the
No, that's Apu, the store manager.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure. Springfield parodies
you got
of
Ned
American
Flanders.
culture.
You got Mo at the bar. That dude's funny, man. Principal Skinner.
Yeah.
What's the name of the clown?
Krusty.
Krusty, there he goes. It's happy. Yeah,
that show. I mean, it's been one of the longest running shows like forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be on somebody's list for sure. I never even watched The Simpsons when I was a kid. I actually played the video games like back on Sega when they had it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about.
I never actually watched The Simpsons until later on in life, and I'm kind of glad I did because I kind of get a little bit more of the jokes and stuff. What they're talking about. So
yeah, for sure, definitely. Yeah, I like The Simpsons. Who's the writer? Matt Groening. Yeah, I really don't. I mean, when I used to watch The Simpsons, it was just kind of very little, like here and there. But I don't know. I just liked it because it was different type of cartoon for me. Like when I had first started watching it, it was just Bart. I mean, Bart Simpson was like the one. You know what I mean? I would draw Bart Simpson like on my binder and stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Just because it was just a new type of cartoon for me. Before it was just like animals and just little kind of stuff like that. But then when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is cool. It's actually like people, situational comedy,
Yeah. Again, it's a great show. It should be on somebody's top 10 for sure. But when I think of The Simpsons, I think more of Family Guy because I mean, to me, they correlate so well together.
Right on. Yeah. It says so the guy that created The Simpsons, he's the creator of Life in Hell, Futurama.
Yeah.
And Disenchantment. I don't know if you guys have heard of those.
Yeah, Disenchantment is actually a new show that just came out on Netflix. Really, it was a Netflix show.
Wow.
Me and my wife, we watched a couple episodes. It was cool. It just wasn't my style, but he kind of like mixed Futurama and like his own like medieval times type of stuff and put them together. But Futurama was a great show. As compared to The Simpsons, I mean, they're both really good shows. Futurama didn't see its run as much as it could have, but it should have. It should have kept going, really.
Right on. Yep. So that was my number 2.
8.9 out of 10.
Nice.
That's high. Damn, that's
well, my number 2 we've already talked about. My number 2 is Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yep.
Again, just a great show. Just super dark, but funny at the same time. So
Nice. Yeah, Grim is literally probably the best character in the whole series, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. So
he's awesome.
So I guess we can move on to number ones.
Let's do it. What's your number one? Go ahead. You can start it off.
Oh, you want me to start?
Yeah.
My number one.
Yep, I know. Come on with it. It's Rick and Morty.
My number one is Rick and Morty, baby.
Rick and Morty. Come on now.
Dude.
I cannot get into that TV show, man. I just can't.
It's just about a senile. He's not even senile. Just this genius of a grandpa that like travels the multiverse in a little spaceship, and he has like the answers to everything. He's always like 30 steps ahead of everybody, and he just brings his dumb grandson along just to do stupid stuff. It's so great, but it's got so many like hidden messages, and like there's just so much like detail like put into it. It's basically Back to the Future in a cartoon with a lot of adult humor in it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's basically. I mean, even the writers themselves have said that, you know, this was supposed to be Back to the Future, the cartoon.
Yeah, I'm reading that here. The guy Rick, his last name is Sanchez.
Yeah, Rick Sanchez. Yeah,
that's pretty cool, man. Is a genius alcoholic scientist based on Emmett Brown from Back to the Future.
That's right.
Known for his reckless, nihilistic behavior and his rude, pessimistic personality, the character has been well received. He is a mad scientist who seems to know everything in the universe and thus finds life a traumatizing and pointless experience.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he knows everything, right? He's like the genius of all geniuses. But he would rather be drunk all the time and just go to like random planets and like do whatever and then come back and like turn himself into a pickle.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty cool. I like that.
So, but there's like a whole space, what do you call them? Like a tribunal like type of system that they're always coming after him. But it's all it is a bunch of different versions of him and a bunch of different versions of Morty, and they all run the whole place. And they're like, we have to make sure all the Rick and Mortys in the dimensions are being where they're supposed to be. But you know, the Rick in the cartoon is the actual like Rick Prime. You know what I mean? Like he's the number one. Like he can never be outsmarted. So it's just so good, man. I'd love this.
However, despite amusing to be the smartest person in the universe, there have been times where he has been proven wrong.
Yeah.
Nice. Rick and Morty. So what is that? Adult Swim?
It is an Adult Swim show.
It's now on Cartoon Network though.
Yeah. Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon, who are the writers. I think it's Dan Harmon that does. It's Justin Roiland. So Justin Roiland does the voices for Rick and Morty. So you can see like videos of him like doing takes of like their voices and stuff, and it's just him, one person in a microphone booth, just having a conversation with himself.
Whoa,
it is so good, dude. Like,
awesome.
So I love this show, man.
Grandpa, is this a scenario 3? Well, what's a scenario 3? Oh, it's a scenario 4.
Scenario 4.
Yeah,
scenario 4.
Yeah, honestly, man, like out of all
I've really tried to give that show a chance. I just can't. I don't know. It won't click on me.
Yeah. So I mean, some people, again, you want to talk about cult classics though. Like this is honestly like when they had their second season or third season release, which wasn't that long ago, people were freaking out because they didn't have a renewed season with Adult Swim. So nobody knew what was going to happen. So everybody was like, you know, what the heck? Everybody's messaging everybody on Twitter, the Cartoon Network devs, like, hey, what's going on? And finally, they just said, the creator came out and said, he goes, hey, don't worry about it. Like, if Rick and Morty goes, we'll figure something out. You know what I mean? And then a couple of days later, he was like, you know, we've been renewed for like 7 or 10 seasons or whatever. So they're going to be going for like the next 10 years at least.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
It's just a really well-written show.
Nice. Cool. So that was
my number one.
Number uno. My number one, we already talked about it. Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. I mean, Tom and Jerry is just there. You don't even got to say anything, and they do what they do. Spike, the bulldog,
yeah,
the best. I mean, he's always setting Tom straight. Like it's just so good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, just the stuff. That's just like the little stuff they do. Like, I mean, Tom will chase Jerry around with a double barrel shotgun and shoot off 30 rounds. You know what I'm saying? It's just like boom, 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 boom. It's a double barrel shotgun. Like, how is that even? There's no logic behind that. It's just stuff like that is super funny. One of my favorite episodes is where he's about to go to heaven, but he's denied entry because he's been mean to Jerry his whole life,
and he has to go get his signature.
Yeah, and now he has to go get Jerry's signature to enter heaven.
Oh shoot,
dude! That's I remember that one like
yeah. So no one, it's all good.
If it's not that one, that's like my favorite. It's either the one where Jerry's got his uncle that comes in. He's like, combo.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. But I was really disappointed because I've seen almost like every Tom and Jerry episode. The last one was really, really dark. Like Tom gets his heart broken by the girl he wanted. His like he just wants this girl. He wants to marry him. And she doesn't fall for it. So he goes and he just sits on the train track. Jerry did the same thing. He got his heart broken. He goes and sits with Tom on the train track. The train comes. That's it. No more Tom and Jerry. Yeah. It's crazy. Like, it's really dark. Like, what? Did they commit suicide? What happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really crazy, though. Like, I mean.
You will never know.
Yeah, we will never know. That's crazy.
Yeah. Nah. We talked about Tom and Jerry a lot, man, but it's just a great show for sure.
It really is, man. It's the best. I can watch that all day, every day.
Tom and Jerry.
All right. What's your number uno?
I want to know how come Secret Life of Gumball wasn't on your list.
Yeah, it was number 12, but not top 10.
Dude, I'm telling you, I had like a list of all your shows like that I know you watch, and like that was on there for sure. And I was like, dude, he hasn't said it, so it must be number one.
No, Gumball and Adventure Time didn't make it.
All right.
Regular Show did. Regular Show had to be up there.
I can't believe you put Regular Show over those.
Yeah, I did. They're really good. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Jesus, what's your number one?
Number uno.
All right. I don't know. I read the Bible, and my daughter, like, I've been trying to find some kind of like Bible cartoon movie for her because it's hard for her to find stuff for my daughter. So I finally found one, and it's called Superbook.
Superbook?
Yeah, it's called Superbook, and it's on. Is it on Netflix? No, it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool because it's not like old school. It's like new school. These two kids. And, you know, they're kind of going through something or whatever. And then Superbook comes out. And it's like this little thing that hovers up in the air. And then a book comes out. And they're like, Superbook. And then just go and like be a part of the actual adventure. Like if it's Moses, they're in the time of Moses. And they have this little – and they have this the little boy owns this robot. And he's like a RJ5 type of thing. And he knows all this stuff. And they ask him, or he's like – and then he says, "Oh, we're in this time or whatever, this time of the universe, and this is what's going on." So I like it. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's like the latest cartoon that I've really been watching. And when I was trying to think of my list, I was like, I'll put that one on there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's really old too. The first original air date was 1981.
Yeah, that was actually, I think it was a comic or something like that, or was it a series or something? You can kind of get a better look at it if you look on the IMDb because they're on there.
Yeah, they have more of a like a Clone Wars like animation style, which is kind of cool. Like honestly, like that's a pretty cool choice. I hadn't seen
that's crazy. I didn't even wow.
Yeah, so check that. I mean, like I said, it was for my daughter because I want her to watch some good stuff, and she was watching. She likes the B Movie by Jerry Seinfeld, and there's like very rare things that she likes. And when I came upon this, because I was trying all these, they had all these old school like Bible ones, and I'm like, man, this kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Where's the good stuff at? You know, and that's just kind of how it is with like Christianity, like the Christian shows. I mean, they fall like way behind. And when I found this one, I was like, oh, this is pretty modern. This is pretty cool, you know. And she liked it, you know. That's I think that's kind of why I put that one on my list.
Like I would have thought of like VeggieTales when I think of like, you know, Christian shows and stuff like that. But honestly, I think the biggest problem with like having a Christian show is kind of like the problem that we're having now, like in society now, is if they say one wrong thing, like that's it, they're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And for sure.
It's kind of a scary thing to think about, but like there could be a lot of like really good, like not so dark or not so adult like shows for kids that are, you know, whether they're biblical or whatever. But like I said, it's just that we live in a time where it's kind of like less accepted, really. like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean you can't have two fathers? Like, oh, like, well, I'm not gonna let my kid watch this. You know what I mean?
Like, exactly, man. I mean, that's just a whole topic in itself. I mean,
for sure,
it's just like that's just the way it is. And they actually have only one season on Amazon Prime, and I'm looking on IMDb. There's 4 seasons, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what you're saying, like you have to be real careful what you say and all this stuff. And even like I started a blog and all this stuff, and it's like, do I want to say that my stuff is Christian? You know what I mean? Because it turns a lot of people off. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like once you say that, they're just like, nah, you know. And I think it has a lot to do with their experiences that they've had in the past, and it's just a whole bunch of stuff, you know. And that's why I try to just kind of go at things with not saying that I'm Christian, quote unquote, you know what I mean? Because you know, it's just a turnoff, you know.
I mean, I'm a Christian too, right? But I don't go around telling people like, hey, yeah, you know, I believe in this or that, or I'm a Christian, because like, hey, what, you know, I fuck, you know, I say shit, but like, I'm still a Christian. That doesn't mean I'm not a Christian. I just, I'm not a perfect Christian, right? So when people hear me say that, like, well, you're not a real Christian, and I'm like, well, yeah, I am. I don't do things I'm not supposed to. I don't, you know, but it's just one of those. You get this like stigma or stereotype that's on you because you say stuff like that. So why say it if it's just gonna, you know, cast a light on you that you don't really want to give the first impression on somebody.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that this animated series, it kind of does that. Like if you're not really familiar with it and you're just kind of scrolling through and you open it up, I think a kid would be like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know what I mean? Not even thinking. Sure. Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Cool.
All right.
That was my number 1.
That sums up about our top 10.
That wraps it up for us.
Yes, sir.
You guys have anything that y'all like after the list came down from everybody that y'all were like, dang, it should have been on my list?
No. I'm really surprised no one said the Jetsons.
Yeah, I was thinking about that one, but I never really watched it.
Yeah, neither did I. That's why I was like, oh, okay. Maybe one of y'all watched it. I mean,
yeah, it was pretty cool because it was like in the future, you know. I mean, the concept of it was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was honestly a lot of shows that like could have been on my list that even weren't, because there's just so many cartoons that came out in like the 90s and the 2000s that were so good. But you know, narrowing it down, it was kind of hard. But I mean, I think everybody had a great top 10 list. I mean, we mentioned the Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry a lot, but honestly, that's like the foundation of where a lot of this started anyways.
Yeah, true.
So it's understandable.
Right on. There was a lot of like you had Nickelodeon, you had Cartoon Network, Adult Swim. I mean, just the different networks. Fox was even in there, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. It was unlike the last top 10 that we had, where it was just like a lot of Marvel, you know. So that's a pretty cool thing about these animated shows, I think.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, all right, guys, that should do it for us tonight. Remember, guys, we're always open to ideas from anybody. If you got ideas, put them down in the comments below. We have a Facebook page if you want to go find us on there, JXFM. That's where you can find us and talk to us and let us know what y'all think about the show. So with that being said, we're going to head out for the night. Thank y'all for watching and have a good night.
Good night.
Good on, y'all.